Zimbabwe cash crisis worse. Talking about Venezuela once again.
Systemic important banks. They removed the 1,000 thing right there called monetary indebtedness. Hey there, hope all is well. Back at you today with some more RT News updates. And as you can tell from today's title, we're going to be talking about the $76,111 per month pension man. But before I actually dive into today's news updates, I have a couple articles I want to share with you. I want to make it known that I'm not intentionally trying to single out this one individual for doing anything wrong other than just utilizing the services provided for him with this flaw that it'll be some people who will receive a lot up front, and then there'll be a lot of people at the end of the day that will not receive anything, if very little of what they were promised. So, as always, before I dive into today's articles, if you're new to RTD, I want to encourage you to click the subscribe button and follow Rethinking a Dollar on YouTube, as well as hit that notification tab. And if you are also on Twitter, follow me where I post articles and whatnot throughout the day. And also, if you have not already, follow me on steemit.com, where I also share articles throughout the day on subject matters that I'm not able to post via video. And so let's get into the very first article here. So in total, I have 3 articles which I'm going to share with you, all dealing with what's happening in regards to the whole pension system in reference to what's happening today, and how these stories here that I want to share with you first ties into the very last story with the $76,111 per month pension man. And so as you can tell from today's title, it says 1 million Americans are counting on Congress to save their pensions. And so I'll give you a little bit what's going on here. It says more than 1 million workers and retirees could lose their pension benefits within 20 years. So stop right there before I go even further. If they're giving you an ideal time frame of 20 years, that then tells me that it's probably half of that, if not a little bit over half, in regards to years of where pension payouts might have real problems. So I'll move on. It says many of them were construction workers or truck drivers who belonged to a union and paid into pensions funds set up to cover workers from multiple employers. But about 100 of these pension plans are expected to run out of money in the next 2 decades, according to a report from the Center for Retirement Research at Boston College. It says lawmakers on both sides of the aisle agree that something must be done. It says a number of countries' biggest multi-employer pensions are approaching insolvency, which poses a threat of small businesses going bankrupt, retirees seeing their benefits cut, and taxpayers getting stuck footing the bill, Hatch said in a statement. So, there in of itself gives you the whole idea of the state of this pension system right now. They're underfunded, and who's going to be stuck paying for it? Taxpayers. And so here you have the congressmen, both sides of the aisle finally agreeing on something, in the fact that there's a problem with pensions and something needs to be done. But unfortunately, it's too late. There's nothing that can really be done other than the fact that more taxes will be imposed upon younger generations, or whatever type of scheme they're trying to come up with last minute, which will not work, just because this problem of guaranteeing pay for the rest of your life is a flawed system that started decades and decades ago, which is coming to fruition now that it is no good. So it says one big problem is that there are more retirees than active workers participating in the plans. About 83% of participants in plans facing insolvency are already retired or have left their companies for other jobs. It says what makes things even more dire is the fact the government agency that normally steps in when a pension plan fails is also in trouble. The Pension Benefit Guaranty Corporation expects insurance program for multi-employer pension plans to run out of money within 10 years. So here we have the PBGC, which is a company designed to help out pension plans. They are insolvent. So in and of itself, this is all a mess that's going to implode, according to here, within 10 years for this insurance company that insures pensions. And then on top of that, out of the 100 pension plans that falls under this article here, they're talking about 20 years. So as you measure that out, it's 10 years by the PBGC, and then it's 20 years according to these 100 companies. So I would shrink that down a little bit and probably say it's going to be less than 10 years. But that's just my opinions. If you're interested, feel free to read more for yourself. Next article here says the collapse of public pension funds is no longer a distant prospect. It says some states are going to face insolvency within 5 years. Scroll down a little bit more. It says warnings about looming public pension disasters have regularly cropped up since 1950, pointing to problems 25 years or more down the line. To politicians and union leaders, the troubles were someone else's predicament. Then crisis fatigue set in as a big problem remained down the road. It says today the hard stop is 5 to 10 years away within the career plans of current officials. In the next decade, the probability within 5 years, some large states are going to face insolvency due to pensions absent major changes. So here we have more information here if you're interested in reading for yourself, but it gives more of the same thing. Here it's saying within 5 years now, so something worth thinking about.
It's the next recession.
Recession will be.
Will be a recession.
We're going to hit a recession.
The date of the next recession.
A U.S.-only recession typically lasts 8 to 10 months, but a lot of things about this particular one have not been typical. So,
A crash is coming now, whether it's 6 months from now, 12 months, 36 months, no one knows.
I go to bed every night, I dream of another recession. If you know what to do, if you have the right plan to set up, you can make a lot of money from this.
And then this leads to the main story of the day with the $76,111 per month pension plan. So it says here, a $76,000 monthly pension plan, why states and cities are short on cash. So hence the idea, if you're paying somebody this large amount of money, regardless of what they did throughout their entire workforce, whether they deserve it or not, that's another subject matter. But because you're paying out so much money now, today, that leaves those that are expecting the future on the short end of the stick. Give you a little bit of what's going on here. It says Joseph Robertson, an eye surgeon who retired as head of Oregon Health and Science University last fall, receives the state's largest government pension. It's $76,111 per month. Going on a little bit more, it talks about how current pension situations in other states. Then it's a very long article. Then it says here, Oregon's public employee retirement system has told cities, counties, school districts, and other local entities that to contribute more to keep the system afloat, says they cannot neither negotiate nor raise local taxes fast enough to keep up. As a result, pensions are crowding out other spending. Essential services are being slashed. It says, even as the American economy is humming, many states and cities are still hurting from the 2008 financial meltdown. It says the crash hammered their pension funds and state revenues, but didn't reduce the amounts they owed retirees. It says the costs are rising in places that previously acted to diffuse the problem. It says Colorado trimmed pensions in 2010, but a new $32 billion shortfall means more pension cuts and tax increases are likely. Detroit slices pension obligations in a bankruptcy and persuaded philanthropists to chip in, but it is not clear that the city has an affordable plan. In San Francisco, the school board wants voters to approve a 298 parcel tax on real estate, ostensibly to raise $50 million to pay teachers a living wage. Scroll down some more. It says Peers, public employee retirement savings, sets the pension bill for each entity. It says local government, university systems, and the like. Based on the pay and demographics of its workers, just about everyone's bills are going up in the state of Oregon. Oregon now has fewer police officers than 1970, is losing foster care workers at an alarming rate, and has allowed earthquake tsunami preparations to lapse. A 2016 survey turned up a large number of bridges with critical and near critical conditions because of outstanding inadequate funding. So going more, it gives you more information here. We have a football coach who retired not long ago. He's receiving $559,000 a year as part of his pension plan. Then it goes into some of the breakdown as to how they came up with the calculation. It all dates back to prior years. And if you read through, it says Oregon's second way of calculating pension plans dates back to 1946. So this is what's happening in the news. Thought I would share with you guys what's going on in regards to the pension system. So as you can see here, every article here gives you a very dire, straight emergency type of situation that's happening right now. Not only are there 1 million Americans that's going to be expecting Congress to do something, then we have all the states, we have all the cities, we have all these other public entities which are facing situations here. Even in the states that are supposedly healthy, they are going to be faced with problems eventually, just because their bordering states may have problems. So there's going to be a meltdown pretty soon in regards to this pension situation. And so it's very important for those that are in the younger generation, millennials or whatnot, Generation X, to really begin taking a proactive approach towards planning and thinking about your own personal retirement, not depending upon any type of system or expectation of a promise to be met in regards to you being taken care of for the rest of your life. It's on you, not any entity. And so for those that are expecting a pension or currently retired now is the time to take advantage of the opportunity that you're still receiving a check. Take some of those funds, in my opinion, and put it towards things that retains value over time. And so if you follow Rethinking a Dollar, of course, you know that the Federal Reserve note in and of itself has lost more than 98% of its purchasing power over the last several years. And in the days ahead, as this economy unfolds for the fraud that it is, as far as its economic expansion, there's going to be more inflation, which will then lead to a harder standard of living for everybody. So it's in your best interest right now to make sure you're setting aside something and things that retain its value for your future. And realize, more importantly, at the end of the day, it's nobody's responsibility to take care of yourself other than you. So let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment below this video here. I would love to hear what your thoughts are, as well as the $76,111 pension, man. So other than that, look forward to bringing you more news. I'll see you guys later.